Welcome to Caregiver Council, Elder Law Insights with Tieesha Taylor.
What happens when three siblings inherit one house, but only one wants to keep it? Do you sell it, buy each other out, or fight about it for years? That's where family and property law collide, and it's exactly what we're diving into today. Welcome back to Caregiver Council, Elder Law Insights. I'm Tieesha Taylor, founder and CEO of the elderly care law firm here in South Florida. In my practice, I see this situation all the time: siblings inheriting or owning property together. Maybe your parents left the family home to you and your brothers and sisters, or maybe you and a relative bought a piece of land together years ago. On the surface, it feels simple. Everyone's name is on the deed. But in reality, shared ownership can bring complicated questions, financial strain, and even family conflict. So today we're going to talk about what you need to know if you own property with siblings or relatives and how to protect both your relationships and the property itself. First things first, make sure the property is actually titled correctly. Check the deed and see if everyone's name is listed. Look at whether it says tenants in common or joint tenants with rights of survivorship. Why does that matter? Because it affects what happens when one sibling passes away. With tenants in common, each sibling share goes to their estate and heirs, not automatically to the surviving siblings. With joint tenants with rights of survivorship, the share does pass directly to the surviving siblings. I can't tell you how many times I had families fighting in probate court simply because they never looked at what their deed actually said. So there are three things to consider. The first one is the use and responsibilities. Who gets to use the property? Who pays for it? If one sibling living in the home, do they pay rent to the others or at least cover the mortgage, taxes, and insurance? If it's a vacation property, how do you decide who gets to use it for holidays or special events? Without an agreement, the siblings who live there often feels entitled and the others feel cheated. I've seen families stop speaking for years over unpaid property taxes or one sibling taking over the house. The fix: put everything in writing: who lives there, who pays what, and how repairs or upgrades will be handled. Second, exit strategies. Now let's talk about what happens when one person wants out. Maybe one sibling needs money and wants to sell their share, or maybe they just don't want the hassle of owning property together. Families have a few options. One sibling can buy out the others at fair market value. Everyone can agree to sell and split the money. If there's no agreement, Florida law allows a partition action where the court orders the property to be sold and the proceeds divided. A partition action is expensive, stressful, and usually destroys family relationships. That's why I encourage families to create a buyout or sell agreement early. For example, if one sibling wants out, the others have 6 months to buy their share before the house goes on the market. Having this written out ahead of time can save thousands in legal fees and years of fighting. Here's the part most families don't think about. What happens if one of the siblings later needs long term care? Their share of the property could be counted as an asset for Medicaid purposes. That means their portion might need to be sold to pay for care, putting the entire property at risk. Or if a sibling passes away without a will, their share could end up going to a spouse or their children outside the family line. The solution: planning ahead with the right legal tools. Sometimes that means creating a trust, using a ladybird deed, or putting written agreements in place so the property stays in the family. Let me share a few real life examples of what I've seen. I had a group of sisters inherit their parents' Miami home. One wanted to keep it, two wanted to sell. Because they had no agreement, it turned into a partition lawsuit. In the end, the house was sold by the court, ordered by the court for sale, and none of them got the value they hoped for. Another family came to me before things got messy. Their brother lived in the home and wanted to stay. We set up a fair buyout plan where he refinanced the home, paid his sisters their share, and everyone left happy. In another case, a sibling who co owned property ended up in a nursing home. Without planning, The nursing home told them that they had to sell the property. But if they would have come to an elder law attorney to determine what their options were, they could have saved a lot of heartache and money. So, if you own property with siblings or relatives, here's what I recommend: confirm how the deed is written. Don't assume, read it. Put responsibilities in writing. Decide who pays for taxes, insurance, and the upkeep of the property. And create an exit plan. Decide what happens if one person wants to sell or if someone wants to stay. And then plan for the future. Protect against Medicaid issues, probate, and unexpected events. Owning property with siblings can be a beautiful way to hold on to family legacy, but it can also create stress if there's no plan. Families fight over who pays what, who gets to live there, or whether to sell. And if you don't deal with these questions early, the court will eventually make these decisions for you. Here's what I want you to remember from today: check the deed so you know exactly how the property is titled. Put agreements in writing to keep responsibilities clear. If one sibling wants to sell and another wants to stay, create a buyout plan instead of letting the court decide. And think ahead, because Medicaid, probate, and future heirs can all impact the property. By having these conversations now, you can protect your family's home and your family relationships. If you and your family are facing this situation, don't wait until conflict arises. Visit elderlycarelawfirm.com or call us at 305-836-4697 to learn how we can help you create a plan that works for everyone. And remember, if this episode was helpful, please like, leave a review, and subscribe so you don't miss the next conversation here on Caregiver Counsel, Elder Law Insights with me, Tieesha Taylor.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.